to Brian Rahm, CALS.
Hey there, Brian. I just wanted to mention one thing. Let me get it up on my screen. Oops. I guess I wanted to put it out there that there's an upcoming webinar called Characterization of Soil Health in New York State. I think some folks on the call may have already been invited or be aware of this. I have a link to it that I just sent to everybody, and I sent sort of a promotional flyer file to you, Brian, and Bethany, just in case anybody's interested. So if there are questions, I'd be happy to try to get those to the organizers, but otherwise, please check it out and feel free to attend.
Oh, thank you so much, Brian. Is that pretty much open registration? Because I can imagine that a lot of people would want to attend if we get it out through our listserv.
It looks that way to me, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, appreciate that. We'll certainly send that out.
Thank you.
Look forward to that. Some of the work that has been done through the soil health program that we fund out of our climate resilient farming program, the work that Cornell University has been leading over the last 3 years or so. So I know that this is a work product out of that, and we're very excited to participate in that webinar.
I guess I just might add, Brian, that I think that Matt Ryan, who's one of the speakers, is probably the person who is helping oversee the cover crop survey you guys were mentioning earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, there might be an opportunity to ask questions about a couple different things at this event.
Oh, thank you very much. Look forward to it. Anything else, Brian?
That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Shaw, ESF.
Yeah, I don't have anything today, so I'll keep it short. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Tim Sweeney, Ag and Markets.
All right, Brian, I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Staff reports. Victor?
Nothing to add at this point other than the Genesee River Coalition plans to meet next week in person for the first time in almost 6 months. So looking forward to that. Other than that,
wonderful.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. TJ?
Hi, everybody. Nothing really to report, just several board meetings, board trainings, and working on a lot of grant closeouts. And just wanted to say thank you, Chaz, for your help on Monday. We got the first conservation skills workshop, the online version of the stormwater permit review course up and running, and appreciate you being available to give us a hand with that small technical glitch in the beginning. And other than that, I think it went fine, and we're looking forward to holding the field portion of that event Wednesday the 23rd at 10 o'clock at a site here in Pittsburgh, New York. So we're certainly excited to see everybody for the field version of that. So thank you.
Thank you, PJ. Greg?
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'll give a short report on the AIM-based Round 16 program. Despite all the challenges that we've had since its beginning on January 1st, it is well underway, and thanks go to many people on the phone here in various organizations for making that, for realizing that, including those that worked on helping payments be made when reimbursement payments resumed this summer after a pretty extended blackout period. So with all the districts underway in this new AIM-based Round 16 program that involves the traditional support for good technical assistance through the 5 tiers of AIM, plus a new modestly sized Tier 4 practice implementation cost share program, we have about 46 of the 52 districts that are contracted under AIM-based 16 with their 25% advance payments made, and about 21 of the 52 with their 65% implementation project payments being made. So that's a good sign that There are a number of Tier 4 implementation projects underway. There are a handful that have already been completed, and certainly there are some that are in flux, given some of the reasons that have been mentioned on the phone here from Paul Kay, for instance, with contractor and material limits. And so thanks a lot to the regional coordinators on the team here for managing many of those logistics and working with districts on this new program, as well as some of the amendments in those Tier 4 projects that are coming along from maybe unforeseen circumstances that are underway with being able to build projects. I also want to give big thanks to districts, their boards of directors, local partners, and the regional state committee coordinators for all their work on the local AEM strategic plan updates to help guide the next 5 years based on a long track record of performance since districts have had AIM programs. We're seeing many of those under review at the board level and partner level locally, and being reviewed by staff, and toward the goal of having those finalized and certainly ready for use by the end of the year. So thanks a lot for everybody who's working on that. That's a really important piece to show the high level of organization and performance by districts in their ag conservation programs and AIM, to drive their own internal action plans, as well as to show partners everything they do and the path they set to do that. So thanks for that. Brian, I will stop right there, unless there's questions.
All right, Greg, thank you. Questions for Greg? All right, Ron Bush, anything to add, Ron?
Yes, so I just want to provide an update to the state committee on our Agricultural Environmental Management Certified Planner program. The state continues to hover around 50 certified planners, and we are currently working with 8 planners who are pursuing their certification through the 3-plan review process. And a breakdown of those planners would be 5 of those are in our public district realm, and 3 of those planners are in the private industry or private sector.
Thank you, Ron. That's great to hear. Both for the private sector and for districts, that we are continuing to increase capacity. Thank you. Brendan, anything to add to that?
Nothing to add at this time, no.
Thank you. Scott Fickbaum, anything to present to the group today?
Just to say it's been business as usual for the most part in the past month, although, as you know, Brian, doing some reporting for our agreements with the Mohawk Coalition of Districts and the Upper Susquehanna Coalition of Districts, and each on their respective contracts, the Mohawk, of course, doing the sediment and debris reduction, and USC doing, all manner of buffer implementation and tasks surrounding riparian buffers. And only to report that, even with the COVID slowdown and all the challenges that brought on, that those districts and those organizations really still did pretty well in making progress towards the deliverables in each of those contracts. So I would just say, kudos to them, and both of those projects seem to be going well. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Scott. I definitely echo those remarks. Thank you to districts in those major watershed areas and the work that you're doing. Both of those projects are being funded through our MOU with the EC, and they have also expressed gratitude for the work that all districts are doing in those areas under certainly different circumstances. Really appreciate it. And appreciate you, Scott, coordinating all that and getting those reports together. Okay. Ryan Cunningham, anything for the group?
Sure, yeah, thanks. District programming continues to be busy up north. A lot of construction still going on. I see a lot of payment vouchers still going through. It looks like things are continuing to be underway as the weather holds. A lot of Ag Non-Point, CRF, CAFO grant programs along with those AEM Tier 4 projects ongoing. I've seen a lot of program planning for 2021. A lot of the annual plans of work are coming in. As Greg mentioned, the AEM 5-year strategies, a lot of drafts and questions coming in on those, which are due later this fall. That includes, Part B project proposals coming up this fall, things like that. As far as some of the watersheds up north, the Lake Champlain Basin program continues to unroll some grants. They have a plan and implementation grant that's open right now for the next month. They're setting priorities for 2021, so I sit on the TAC committee up there, and we're kind of looking at revising some of those focuses on what affects Vermont and New York, and of course half the counties in my regions are available or within that watershed, and the grants are available to them, so that's kind of good to see. And otherwise, the St. Lawrence Rivershed Water Project is also working on their revitalization plan. They have their third public meeting this week, and I imagine you'll see a draft of that plan later this fall, which is kind of nice. So that's it encompasses a huge area up in the North Country as well. So a little snippet of what's going on in my region. Unless there's any questions, that's about it for me.
Thank you, Ryan. Questions for Ryan? Okay. Ben Luskin, anything to report to the group? Ben may still be on mute. We had an audio problem with Ben earlier, so Ben, if you figure that out and like to come back to give a report, please do so. Moving on to Jennifer, anything else to report for the committee? I'd like to do a little mic check here.
No, I do not have anything. Thank you.
Okay, there. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Bethany, anything more to report to the committee?
Nothing further at this time.
All right, thank you. I believe Tim went back to virtual skills workshop. Casey is with us, though. I'll ask Tim if he has anything. Okay. That rounds out the staff reports. Dale, at this point, I would like to ask any Conservation District partner on the line today, go ahead and unmute your phone, and if you have anything to report or address to the committee, now's your chance to do so. Give it just a few more seconds as some might be struggling to go off mute.
Hey, Brian, it's Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
I just wanted to say I'm looking forward to working with the staff and the advisory committee with the Climate Change Council. So should be exciting and informative process.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. We look forward to it as well. And as I mentioned to the committee here today, we'll bring back briefings and reports on our progress to the committee. And I encourage you also to do the same with the Employees Association. Really appreciate your willingness to step into this role, Amanda. Thank you. Okay. Any other district reports or comments to the committee? Okay, and next, if there are any members of the public that have joined us today, now is your chance to address the state committee. Questions, comments, anything to report? Okay, Dale, that rounds out our voting staff advisory district and public comments section of the agenda. Thank you,
All right.
everybody.
Thank you. All right. Next thing is next meeting.
I think we could shoot for our third Tuesday of the month, which would be October 20th as a starting point.
Any of the voting
Does that work
members?
for our voting members?
That works for me.
Thank you.
It works now, but who knows, come another month.
Yeah.
No problem, Darren. We'll stay in touch. Appreciate that. Dave?
I don't have a problem with it either, Dave.
Okay. So we'll see how things are going by that date in October. I'm going to say right now we will plan to do another WebEx. If things change, we'll try to get a larger conference room or two to try to do something a little bit more in person. But just like everybody, stay patient, stay tuned on that.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Move on to the Ag Non-Point Source Program. Bethany?
Thank you. Let me just switch here. So on the screen, you should be seeing the Ag Non-Point Source dashboard that was put together. Let me back it out a little bit. So since the beginning of the year, we have completed a total of 42 contract closeouts. We have also approved 14 time extension requests as well as one budget amendment. At this time, all of the round 25 contracts have been fully executed. I believe at our last meeting, those were still listed as pending, so we have gotten that updated in our database now. And that brings us now to a total active contracts of 194 from rounds 19 through 25. I do want to mention that we do have the final report for the remaining round 19 contract that has been submitted. We're still working on with the district on that one, but that one should be closed out officially very soon. So that would wrap up our round 19 projects. We are also, as you can see, very close to wrapping up all of the contracts through round 20 of the Ag Non-Point Source Program. As Brian mentioned, I think earlier in the meeting, districts have been very active in getting these closeout reports in, and there's been a lot of work done on Ag Non-Point Source projects. So things are full steam ahead, and we're getting these contracts closed up, which is a good thing. Any other questions on the status report for the round or for the program? I do have a couple of time extension amendments that we will need to go over as well. So I think we'll just jump right into those. So the first time extension request that I have for the committee's consideration today was submitted by Steuben County for a round 23 project. The current end date on that contract is December 31st of this year. And they are looking to extend it to March 31st of 2022. That's approximately a 15-month time extension. The description is highlighted here on the summary page, and it also was provided to the voting members in the complete amendment packet at the end of last week. Victor DiGiacomo supports the amendment request but refers to the state committee. do you have anything additional to add regarding the amendment request, Victor?
Thank you, Bethany. Yes, I will add that this project ran into some issues at its conclusion. So, essentially the project is completed. However, this project does involve EQIP funding. And during the closeout engineering review process, there were some issues that were discovered by the NRCS engineering team. And to rectify those issues may take quite a bit of time, which may include replacing the liner of the waste storage on one side of the storage structure. So to given the uncertainty in the approval and review process of NRCS and the timeliness of where that all exists, we and the district wanted to give themselves enough time and flexibility to work within those restrictions and get this project closed out in a timely manner. So that's why they are asking for the 15-month extension, and I support the extension as well.
Any discussion, questions, anyone?
Yeah, this is Brian. Just appreciate that description, Bethany and Victor. Thank you to NRCS for helping out with this, and certainly their work in finding this issue so it can be rectified. What is the cost implications of something like this? If you know, Victor.
I do not know exactly what the thresholds could be. I do know that worst case scenario, this could cost the farm significantly if the problem cannot be resolved without replacing the liner. That'll involve removing the manure from the structure and basically a lot of reworking the existing structure. So that could be the final outcome. However, the engineers are trying to work together to make that not the eventual conclusion. So at this point, I don't have any more specific information related to cost.
Thank you, Victor.
Well, that's scary. If no other further discussions or questions, motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
I'll call each name out. Erica?
Yes.
Karen?
Yay.
Dave?
Yay.
Approved. Next one?
All right, so our second time extension request was submitted by Wyoming County Soil and Water Conservation District for a Round 22 project. Their current contract end date is April 1st of 2021. They are looking to extend it 1 year to April 1st of 2022. This will take them over the 5-year kind of contract timeline. The reason for their time extension is highlighted here on the summary. It was also provided in the full amendment packet that was sent to the voting members. This time extension is supported by Victor DiGiacomo, Region 1 AEA, but referred to the state committee. Do you have anything further you want to add, Vic?
Yeah, I will just add that this scenario is much more simpler than the last. Just out of the response to the COVID issue within New York State and the pause that was experienced in mid-March, put this project on hold. Obviously they're at the end of their contract period already. They did have intentions to break ground this summer, but with the COVID pause and the lack of contractors and essentially their engineer also going on a pause as well to finish the engineering components to this project, they had to put this off, and that facilitated some additional financing issues. So the farm is in a position right now where they would like to complete the project, However, they may need a little more time to get those finances in place for a summer construction next year. So to give them that extra time, I am supporting the extension request.
Any further discussion, questions, anyone? Motion to approve? Second? Can I get a second to approve?
Second.
Second.
Okay, good. Now we'll vote. Erica?
Yes.
Darren?
Yay.
Dave?
Yay.
Approved. Thank you. Anything else, Bethany?
Sorry, nothing further on the program update or amendments.
Thank you, Bethany. Before we move on to the ranked list and Resolution 20-2, I want to go back to PJ Emmerich very quickly to update his report.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. I just want to take a moment and recognize Dave Gasper and Ethan Sullivan and express my sincere gratitude and appreciation for those folks. They did an outstanding job Monday the 14th on our stormwater permit review course going through virtually this year through the Con Skills Workshop. And so I just wanted to thank the folks at DEC and specifically Dave and Ethan for all their hard work. That partnership is outstanding that the state committee has with DEC and all our partners, and I'm very thankful for that. So that's just all I wanted to say, and appreciate my sincere gratitude for that. So thank you.
PJ, this is Sarah. I will pass that along to them.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you very much. And, you know, again, I echo that as well. And, you know, everybody is working extremely hard in all these agencies in different circumstances right now, and certainly means a lot, you know, that we can continue and maintain and improve upon our partnerships even during these times. Thank you. Okay. Bethany, if you'd like, I can read the bold print here on the agenda, and we can then proceed with the round 26 RFP ranked list and resolution 20-2. So like we did back in April, which seems like it was years ago, ages ago now, when we approved the resolution for Sierra Round 5, when we're on the phone, it's a little bit different. But what we will require is for those conservation districts, with the exception of the employee who is allowed to stay on the line at this point to engage in this discussion as your district representative. I will ask all other district participants and any farmers that may have also appeared on an application who are on the line today to please recuse yourself by hanging up the line. This is the last thing that we will be addressing today on the agenda, so we will adjourn immediately following. This is not an executive session, but this is where we would normally ask those in the room to leave the room for the discussion and the motion. But in this case, virtual, this is the last thing we're addressing, and then we will adjourn. But I thank you all for your cooperation, participation. Also, one other note before we move forward with the resolution. Again, what we're doing is preparing for and covering all of our procedures for any new round of funding. And in order for us to even seek approval to make awards, we need the state committee to resolve to approve the list, the hard work that our advisory members, our scoring team has done over the last couple of months. And that will then become a part of our procurement record for when we do have approval to make these awards and move forward with another round of funding. So that is all we're doing today. By passing this resolution, we are not saying that we have approval or that these awards will be imminent, but we will certainly be seeking that approval and be bringing any kind of status on the round 26 awards back to the committee at a future date. But at this point, I would ask all of our district partners on the line today to please recuse yourself by hanging up the line. We'll give it a couple of minutes for you all to do that before we proceed in the consideration of Resolution 20-2. Thank you, everybody. Bethany, I think we are set.
Okay, very good. So let me get back to the screen. Okay, so what everyone should be seeing, probably very difficultly, but you should be seeing the round 26 ranked list on your screens. Blow it up a little bit more. It might be a little bit easier to read. This is first page, so I'll give everybody time to kind of look at this one, and I'll scroll down. But to just give an overview of the round again, in response to our round 26 RFP, we received 110 applications for requests for funding. In total, all of the applications requested approximately $34.9 million from the state. In the RFP that was published for round 26, we only had made $15 million available for this round. We have 16 applications that were submitted that will be addressing harmful or watersheds with known harmful algal blooms. Approximately 245 farms applied for funding through this program. Of those, 45 of those farms are CAFO operations, or are CAFO farms. 59 of the participating farms are proposing to implement cover crops for just shy of 41,000 acres, which is a drastic increase from the projects that were proposed in through round 25. 33 of the participating farms are applying for covered heavy use area systems, and we also received applications to implement 78 waste storages on farms. And finally, 48 of the participating farms applied to implement a riparian buffer system, and we had a total of 19.3 acres of forested buffer be proposed, and approximately 47 acres of herbaceous buffer be proposed through the round. Here is the second page of the ranked list. You know, there's lots of numbers going on here. And then we are down to the bottom. So here's where, again, you can just take a look at the total numbers on things that I just rattled off. We have the total state funds requested, but the overall total project cost for all of the applications was around, or almost $52 million. And then you can see at the bottom here all of the totals for number of farms and all those statistics that I just reported to everyone. Are there any questions on the list before I think I have to read the resolution here?
Bethany, not a question, but just another comment. Again, I want to thank all the advisory members represented on the scoring committee for Ag Non-Point Source. There was a lot of great discussion, both at the TAC meeting and again at our post-review meeting where, and I apologize if I'm mischaracterizing anything, and all of you who are still on the line can step in here, but that the job of our reviewers are getting harder and harder, and that is in part because our proposals keep getting better and better and much more competitive throughout each round. This round absolutely just floored me. It shouldn't have surprised me because every year that I think there is going to be a downturn in demand, districts continue to rise to the challenge and knock it out of the park. There are going to be a lot of great proposals we're not going to be able to fund in this round, but again, I keep mentioning this worth mentioning under extremely different circumstances, which most of this round was open for during COVID. This is just a tremendous thing to see this level of demand. And the cover crop increase in both number of farms and in acreage proposed. I don't know, Bethany, apologies, I didn't ask for this before, but do you remember ballpark what we had in round 25?
It was under 10,000 acres. I can tell you that. I don't have the exact number either, but but I think total out of the entire. Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just out of the entire round of round 25. We were under 10,000. I'm not sure. Obviously, we funded even less, but I think where you were just going, there are a couple of proposals in here towards the top of the list that applied for well over 10,000 acres just in themselves. So.
And just a quick sketch, not all of these proposals of cover crops will receive funding, but looks like the majority will, with I think about 30,000 acres potentially. And I say that will from the standpoint of what we've made available in the RFP, but by no means, am I saying with certainty, but just at the point to which those proposals are ranked. So again, big thank you to the staff make this happen and get these RFPs out. Bethany, tremendous job in working through all of this and the various extensions that we've had to negotiate, with our councils and council fiscal's office, and making yourself available while working remotely to answer questions, and making sure that everything through the course of this round has moved forward according to our evaluation instrument and procurement rules. And a big thank you to districts, big thank you to advisory panels, and I'll leave it at that.
Bethany, this is Sarah. I just had a quick question. How did the state funds requested compare to previous years?
Oh, that's a very good question. I would say it's actually on par. It might be a little bit. I think it's on par. We typically receive the total state funds requested is generally about double what we have available. Typically, each round we're only able to fund between around 40 and 45% of the applications that are submitted.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Dale, are we ready for Bethany to review the resolution?
Do you want to read it, Brian, or not?
Yeah, we always do read it, even when we're in person. Bethany, I'll let you do the honors.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we are looking for a motion from the committee to approve Resolution 20-2, and that states that subject to the availability of funds, the committee shall award funding pursuant to round 26 of the Agricultural Non-Point Source Abatement and Control Grant Program for projects 1 through 110 in order ranked and in the amounts recommended by the advisory members of the committee until funds available for this purpose are exhausted or the scoring threshold is reached, consistent with the Soil and Water Conservation District law, the RFP, and any other law applicable to funding of such projects. Consistent with the RFP, the committee authorizes the Department of Agriculture and Markets to negotiate the terms of the contract with the project sponsors and to make minor adjustments to the project description and budget as necessary to achieve project goals, conform to applicable laws and regulations, and to serve the best interests of the state.
Could I have someone move that motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Go to voting. Erica?
Yes.
Karen?
Yay.
Dave?
Yay.
Approved.
Thank you.
Great. There was a comment. I just wanted to show page 2 of the list again. Someone requested to have it up. So here we are. But with that, I think I am all set unless there's any other questions or anything.
Bethany, this is Chaz. Is there, there's been some chatter around, is there any idea, and I know the answer to this already, but I'm going to ask you anyway, just because I have to, of when we may have an official award? I know you said it already, but I'm just going to ask again.
Unfortunately, no. I think now that we have an approved list, we kind of go into a long line of other projects waiting for awards, which includes, round 5 of the CRF program. We work very closely with our council's office and our folks in our fiscal management division, who work to get procurements approved and contracts moving, and we meet with them weekly. And, we're working with them to see if there's any change in status and when things can start moving forward. So as soon as we get the okay from those shops, we'll get all the awards out as fast as possible.
Thank you. I know
Bethany, well said.
Yeah, I mentioned it at NYACD last time, and one of the district directors got, wanted to go into who do we need to talk to get this stuff awarded mode, and I just want to reminded them that, everybody's in this situation right now, and we need to be, sensitive to that, and let's just chill, for lack of better terms. Said it more clear, better than that, but I just wanted to ask, so it's officially, I can say that, everybody's in, let's chill out.
Yeah, thank you, Chaz, and thank you, Bethany. It was a great explanation. And just to clarify a very little bit, as we work with our council and fiscal's office, they are advocating for the release of our programs and awards, and they work with the state's Division of Budget and Office of Comptrollers, and we certainly have to receive approval from those levels for us to move forward. But and as a committee over the next couple of months, hopefully things become a little bit more clear. We certainly do not advocate for, and we would, as I mentioned before, we're getting things ready for the next RFPs, and the release of which normally would go out sometime late fall or early winter. We don't want to skip over these valuable rounds and all of these great projects. So, we're going to, continue to work on new RFPs, but certainly hold those until we're able to make awards, and hopefully, all these projects and proposals are still viable when we do. So we're not going to skip over any rounds of funding to issue new RFPs. At least that's what I would advocate for, and of course that's a committee decision in consultation with the department, but I believe there would be support for that.
Anything else you want to cover, Brian?
I am all set. I just want to thank everybody for their time today. And
great. Well, everybody, have a safe fall, and hopefully we don't get a killing frost for a while yet. But meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
We had a good frost this morning up in North Country, so.
Oh boy.
That we did.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Be well.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.